The old man sat on his stool and leaned back against the whitened wall. He had upholstered the stool elegantly with a hareskin, because there didn't seem to be much between his own skin and his bones these days. The yard was empty, save for a few hens that pecked more inquisitively than hopefully in the dust. But there were sounds that told of others who had not the old man's leisure for siesta. From round the corner of the house came the occasional plonk of an empty bucket as it hit the water, and its scrape on the sides of the well as it came up full. In the shack across the yard, a dull pounding went on rhythmically and soporifically. The old man's head fell forward as he drowsed. Presently, from beyond the rough enclosing wall, there came another sound, slowly approaching. A rumbling and a rattling, with an intermittent squeaking. The sound drew closer, and a boy's head showed above the wall. He grinned at the old man with an expression of excitement in his eyes. He did not call out, but moved a little faster until he came to the gate. There he turned into the yard, proudly towing behind him a box mounted on 4 wooden wheels. The old man got up suddenly from his seat, alarm in every gesture. He waved both arms at the boy as though he would push him back. The boy stopped. His expression of gleeful pride faded into astonishment. He stared at the old man who was waving him away so urgently. Reluctantly and bewilderedly the boy turned, but too late. The pounding in the shed stopped. A middle-aged woman appeared in the doorway. Her mouth was open to call, but the words did not come out. Her jaw dropped slackly, her eyes seemed to bulge, then she crossed herself and screamed. The sound split the afternoon peace. Behind the house the bucket fell with a clatter, and a young woman's head showed round a corner. Her eyes widened. She crammed the back of one hand across her mouth and crossed herself with the other. A young man appeared in the stable doorway and stood there transfixed. The boy stood quite still with all their gaze upon him. His bewilderment began to give way to fright at the expression in their eyes. He looked from one horrified face to another until his gaze met the old man's. What he saw there seemed to reassure him a little, or frighten him less. He swallowed. Tears were not far away as he spoke.
"Gran, what's the matter? What are they all looking at me like that for?"
As if the sound of his voice had released a spell, the middle-aged woman came to life. She reached for a hayfork which leaned against the shack wall. Raising its points towards the boy, she walked slowly in between him and the gate. In a hard voice she said, "Go on, get in the shed."
"But, Ma,"
the boy began.
"Don't you dare call me that now,"
she told him. In the tense lines of her face, the boy could see something that was almost hatred. His own face screwed up, and he began to cry.
"Go on,"
she repeated harshly.
"Get in there."
The boy backed away, a picture of bewildered misery. Then suddenly he turned and ran into the shed. She shut the door on him and fastened it with a peg. She looked round at the rest as though defying them to speak. Many hours later, there was a tap on the door. A whispered shh. For a moment, Davy saw a square of night sky with a dark shape against it. Then the door closed again.
"You had your supper, Davy?"
a voice asked.
"No, Gran. Nobody's been."
The old man grunted.
"Thought not. Scared of you, all of 'em. Here, take this. Cold chicken it is."
Davy's hand sought and found what the other held out to him. He gnawed on a leg while the old man moved about in the dark, searching for somewhere to sit.
"This is a bad business, Davy boy. They've sent for the priest. He'll be along tomorrow." "But I don't understand, Gran. Why do they all act like I've done something wrong?"
"Oh, Davy," said his grandfather reproachfully.
"Honest, I don't, Gran."
"Come now, Davy.
Every Sunday you go to church, and every time you go you pray. What do you pray?"
The boy gabbed a prayer. After a few moments the old man stopped him.
"There,"
he said.
"that last bit." "Preserve us from the wheel?"
Davy repeated, wonderingly.
"What is the wheel, Gran? It must be something terrible bad. I know, 'cause when I ask 'em they just say it's wicked, and not to talk of it. But they don't say what it is."
The old man paused before he replied. Then he said,
"That box you got there, who told you to fix it that way?" "Why, nobody, Gran. I just reckon it'd move easier that way. It does, too. Listen, Davy, those things you put on the side of it, they're wheels." "What? Those round bits of wood? But they can't be, Gran. That's all they are, just round bits of wood. But the wheel, that's something awful, terrible, something everybody's scared of. All the same, that's what they are. In the morning, the priest will come here to see your box. It'll be still there because nobody dares to touch it. He'll sprinkle some water on it and say a prayer just to make it safe to handle. Then they'll take it into the field and make a fire under it, and they'll stand round singing hymns while it burns. Then they'll come back and take you down to the village and ask you questions. They'll ask you what the devil looked like when he came to you, and what he offered to give you if you'd used the wheel. But there wasn't any devil, Gran. That don't matter. If they think there was, then sooner or later you'll be telling them there was, and just how he looked when you saw him. They got ways. Now what you got to do is act innocent. You got to say you found that box just the way it is now. You didn't know what it was, but you just brought it along on account of it would make good firewood. That's your story, and you got to stick to it. If you stick to it, no matter what they do, maybe you'll get through okay. But Gran, what is there that's so bad about the wheel? I just can't understand.
The old man paused more lengthily than before.
Well, it's a long story, Davy, and it all began a long, long while ago. Seems like in those days everybody was happy and good and such like. Then one day the devil came along and met a man and told him that he could give him something to make him as strong as 100 men, and make him to run faster than the wind and fly higher than the birds. Well, the man said that'd be mighty fine. And what did the devil want for it? And the devil said he didn't want a thing, not just then. And so he gave the man the wheel. By and by, after the man had played around with the wheel a while, he found out a whole lot of things about it. How it would make other wheels and still more wheels, and do all the things the devil had said with a whole heap more. What? It'd fly and everything?
Said the boy.
Sure, it did all those things. Began to kill people too, one way or another. Folks put more and more wheels together the way the devil told them, and they found they could do a whole lot bigger things and kill more people too. And they couldn't stop using the wheel then on account of they would have starved if they had. Pretty near everything in the world was dependent on wheels, and things got worse and worse, and the old devil just lay back and laughed to see what his wheel was doing. Then things got terrible bad. Don't know quite the way it happened, but things got so terrible worse there wasn't scarcely anybody left alive. Only just a few, like it had been after the flood, and they was near finished. And all that was on account of the wheel? Uh-huh. Leastways, it couldn't have happened without it. Still, somehow they made out. They built shacks and planted corn, and by the devil met a man and started talking about his wheel again. Now, this man was very old and very wise and very God-fearing, so he said to the devil, "No, you go right back to hell." And then he went all around warning everybody about the devil and his wheel and got them all plumb scared. But the old devil don't give up that easy. He's mighty tricky too. There's time when a man gets an idea that turns out to be pretty nearly a wheel, maybe like rollers or screws or something, but it'll just pass so long as it ain't fixed in the middle. Yes, he keeps along trying, and now and then he does tempt a man into making a wheel. Then the priest comes and they burn the wheel, and they take the man away. And to stop him making any more wheels and to discourage any other folk, they burn him too. They burn him? Stammered the boy. That's what they do. So you see why you got to say you found it and stick to that.
There was a long silence in the darkness of the shed.
Listen, Davy, lad, I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to keep it to yourself, not tell a soul till maybe you're an old man like me. Sure, Gran, if you say. I'm telling you because you found out about the wheel for yourself. There'll always be boys like you who do. They've got to be. You can't kill an idea the way they try to. You can keep it down a while, but sooner or later it'll come out. Now, what you've got to understand is that the wheel's not evil. Never mind what the scared men all tell you. No discovery is good or evil until men make it that way. Think about that, Davy boy. One day they'll start to use the wheel again. I hoped it would be in my time, but, well, maybe it'll be in yours. When it does come, don't you be one of the scared ones. Be one of the ones that's going to show 'em how to use it better than they did the last time. It's not the wheel. It's fear that's evil, Davy. Remember that.
He stirred in the darkness. His feet clumped on the hard earth floor. His groping hand found Davy's shoulder, and then rested a moment on his head.
God bless you, Davy, and don't worry any more. It's going to be all right. You trust me? Yes, Gran? Then you go to sleep. There's some hay in the corner there.
The glimpse of dark sky showed briefly again. Then the sound of the old man's feet shuffled across the yard into silence. When the priest arrived, he found a horror-stricken knot of people collected in the yard. They were gazing at an old man who worked away with a mallet and pegs on a wooden box. The priest stood, scandalized. "Stop!" he cried. "In the name of God, stop!" The old man turned his head toward him. There was a grin of crafty senility on his face.
Yesterday, he said, I was a fool. I only made 4 wheels for it. Today I am a wise man. I am making 2 more wheels so that it will run half as easily again.
They burned the box, as he had said they would. Then they took him away. In the afternoon, a small boy whom everyone had forgotten turned his eyes from the column of smoke that rose in the direction of the village and hid his face in his hands.
I'll remember, Gran. I'll remember. It's only fear that's evil,
he said, and his voice choked in his tears.